welcome to Real Unstructured, where we bring you inspirational spotlights to keep you radical, empowered, authentic, and living in the Word. I am your host, Narissa, and this is a platform specifically designed for millennials to showcase their God-given talents and gifts with the world, who have used unstructured, unapologetic, and unconventional means to pursue their dreams. Now, today's guest is none other than Derrick Adkins. Derrick, welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, your background and schooling.
Okay. My name is Derrick Adkins. I'm 27 years old from Gulfport, Mississippi, born and raised. I even went to Alcorn State University where I received my bachelor's in English literature. I sat out 2 years after school. I graduated in 2016, sat out for 2 years, and I began working as administrative assistant for a gastroenterologist clinic. And also was administrator assistant for the surgery center that connected to it. So I did that for about 5 years, and that's how I started learning how to do proper business policies, procedures, all of that type of thing. Reviewing contracting, editing, using those skills that led me to begin to want to do more. So I left there in 2018, moved to Dallas, did an internship with Project Transformation. Then after doing that, I started my graduate career at SMU, where I began to pursue a Master's of Theological Studies. And I'll be done this July at the end of the month, and I will receive my degree.
Congratulations.
So,
Congratulations.
Hey.
Now, with all of the experience that you just mentioned in the professional field, in medical, and then dealing with children and dealing with processes and procedures, you also have a love for gospel music. So tell everybody about how you got involved in gospel in the entertainment industry. How did that become a passion of yours?
Cool. So I grew up in the church. So at an early age, I began playing for church choirs, my home church choir. So my uncle was a pastor. My dad's youngest brothers are preachers. They're twins. And so I basically, was involved in the church at young ages, part of the usher ministry, all these ministries. So I got a chance to deal with different types of youth, from babies, toddlers, people my age, older people, young adults, grown people, my parents, those type of people are the people that I'm leading in a choir. So after that, I continued playing for churches, really starting after Hurricane Katrina in 2006. So I started playing for different local churches, getting experience there. And then when I went to school, I played for our Alcorn Gospel Choir. And in this process, when we go and travel, we would sing with celebrities. So we would have to basically learn their music, rehearse with them. And I love doing those type of things. And I could say that I probably would enjoy having a life on the road in entertainment of some form. So since I was gospel music, that's all I knew. So you play a Kirk Franklin song, John P. Key, I do all that. So when I was in undergrad, I worked in the university's relations department. And as you know, they deal with all the publicity for whether it's events, all of that type of things, pictures, picking up celebrities from airports, all of the above. So having to interview people, taking pictures of them, having conversations with them, I could see that that's something I really enjoy doing, that field of entertainment. So when I began my collegiate career in seminary, basically I was wanting to pursue more of my calling, which was music ministry, because I played music within the church still. I play for a local church, Warren United Methodist Church here in Dallas. And in doing so, I got connected with the right people, and I was able to join in with the partnership with the Powerhouse Company, where we basically manage other celebrities, other artists, be they gospel, secular, whatever the case may be. Pretty much do a lot of the contracting, booking, all of the above. So whatever I can do to basically use my gift, I try to do that anyway.
I got you. Now, we're dealing with a pandemic, because obviously I would have loved for this interview to have been in person, but
right.
2020 is just down the drain. So how has your work that you have done with, different artists and celebrities and trying to get into the entertainment industry, how has that impacted you dealing with this pandemic?
Well, for me, I don't think it really has been a change because, like, service-wise, where I play, we basically pre-record services. So when we pre-record our services, we go edit, do however many takes we need to. Then the pastor puts it all together, and then we present that stuff live. So whereas we would be in person, technically I'm still in person. I still have to go. I have to mask up. I have to do all of the above. Make sure everything is social distance for the little ensemble that we have, a couple of members. It's no more than like 4, and then we spread mics out, we sanitize after. So that part really hasn't changed. I think my responsibilities have improved with the having to sanitize, make sure everything is set up prior to, like, the day before. Outside of that, as far as like actually doing events and traveling, that's something that I miss doing. Haven't been able to do that at all because no one is having like really live services with a lot of people, whereas before. So those things have changed. Some places are doing like the virtual services specifically with the artists, where they will record their video and send it in. So we would necessarily not do that, but what we have done was like when people have these quarantine concerts that you see on YouTube, that's what we've been doing. So we set up that, do all the calling, unique group of people in and out. So that quite that's been more of the change for me than it has been like a drastic change.
Gotcha.
It's like a little gradual change.
Yeah, because trust me, I miss being in church and I miss being in them
Come on, I gotta bring the tamarines and the drum machines. I'll pick them up and put them down.
Now, what advice would you give to somebody who is trying to get into the gospel or entertainment industry? What advice would you give them who want to do what you're doing right now?
If I had to give someone advice, I would say, look, I was told where I am now. It's just so happened that I've been placed with the right people. I wouldn't say not do what I did because I think I had the tenacity to just go out there and get what I wanted. Whereas like requesting internships, not necessarily harassing people, but sending those emails, having those conversations, getting let down, going through all of those things. So I would say if you have a mindset that this is what you want to do or whatever it is that you want to do, continue to push at it. Continue to ask those questions. And when you get no's, then say, hey, do you know someone who has the opportunity for me to work with them, or someone who may know anything about my interests that you could put me into contact with? Like, you need to have those conversations and keep the lines of communications open. And every conversation that you have, get a business card, because you never know when you might need that person again. So that's the advice I would have. I mean, those are tools that I use to get where I am, and I think they've been pretty successful.
Absolutely. That's great advice that we all can take heed to. And even little subtle reminders, just business cards. I always have a business card and always take business cards from other people. So absolutely. So is there anything upcoming that we should keep our eyes open for? I kind of hear about lawyer, entertainment law, like tell everybody what's going on and what we can look forward to in the future.
Yeah, so I'm currently in the process of studying for my LSAT to go into law school to be an entertainment lawyer, cater to everything in the entertainment field. So hopefully within the next 5 years, I will have some more credentials behind my name. I think I'll be done after that. I think I'm done.
Oh, well, that's great. And then last question, if people wanted to reach out to you, I know that you're doing, again, a lot of work in the entertainment industry. And then, of course, you're a musician. So if somebody wanted to contact you, Derrick, how can they reach you?
You can reach me by email. My email is, I utilize my school emails currently. So it's DC Adkins, my initials, at smu.edu. Or you may reach me on Facebook. They are my initials, D Music, DMUSIC, AMUSIC, and you'll see my picture. So those are the two best ways to get in contact with me right on the dot. Email, or Facebook Messenger.
Great. Well, thank you, Derrick, so much. We really appreciate you joining today.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Derrick, for joining. And now it is time for our Rebel Faith moment. Let me tell you, I learned a lot just from him and loving music and loving church and not being able to do the things that I would typically do, but still doing it in a different way. And that is encouraging news that we can take for all of our lives. I like Jeremiah 29:11 that says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future." It doesn't matter where you are today. If you feel stuck because of what you have been used to doing that you can't do anymore the same way, or if now God is calling you to change up a little bit and to alter what you have been doing before and just doing it in a new way. You can still do the things that you love by going outside of the box and thinking creatively, using your imagination and innovation to create something new and to create something different while still following your passion. You know, I went to school with a couple of individuals a while back, and they were changing their majors all of the time. One wanted to be a teacher, and then they went to criminal justice, and then they wanted to be a doctor, and then they were undecided. And then they just said, just give me a liberal arts degree so I can get out of here. And then come to find out, they ended up going into different conferences and different seminars and workshops. And they did just like Derrick said. They started to network and to get those cards and their business cards and their information, to send those emails. And they didn't stop when they heard a no, but they kept going. So in school, they didn't really have a path. They just knew they needed a degree and they wanted to be able to excel. So they got that. And then still trying to figure it out by getting connections and those connections not working out. And they stopped to think, is something wrong? God, am I doing something wrong? And then all of a sudden, in a blinking of an eye, God connected them with the right people at the right place at the right time for the right reason. And now they are off and doing the most powerful things in life in New York City. And let me tell you, that same thing can happen to you. It doesn't matter how many times you have made mistakes. It doesn't matter how many times you have failed. It doesn't matter even if you don't know. Just being stuck sometimes in the unknown can cause us to trip and to question our lives, to question our passions and our abilities. But God has plans for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Put your life into God's hands. Put your plans into God's hands and watch him connect you with the right people at the right place at the right time for the right reason. God can do it. He has plans for you. God bless you.